I didn't know what to expect when my family found out, but the silence that followed spoke volumes. Still, in this silence, I'm learning that time will heal wounds that truth alone cannot. I thought my family's love would shield me from the consequences of my actions, but truth be told, nothing is that simple. What I've learned through this experience is that honesty, even when it hurts, is always the best choice. My family's reactions were mixed, some silent, others vocal. But through it all, I've come to realize that the most important thing isn't how they react. It's how I stand firm in my truth, no matter what. Facing my family after everything came to light felt like walking through fire. But now that I'm on the other side, I feel like I've shed an old skin, one that no longer serves me. There's a strange power in vulnerability, especially when you've been hiding parts of yourself for so long. Watching my family process everything is difficult, but it's also a moment of transformation for me. It's one thing to keep your struggles to yourself, but it's an entirely different experience when the people you love most see everything you've been hiding. The fear of judgment is real, but so is the hope that love will still prevail. The moment my family discovered everything, I felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff. But instead of falling, I realized I was flying. Sometimes truth is the only thing that can set you free. There's a bittersweetness in knowing that the truth will eventually come to light. My family's reaction was expected, yet still I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. Because I no longer have to carry the weight of secrets. It's hard to describe the feeling of watching your family absorb your deepest secrets. It's like walking through a storm, but somehow knowing the rain will eventually pass. I hold on to that hope as I navigate this new chapter. When my family found out, the world seemed to pause. There was a sense of finality, but also the beginning of something new. The journey ahead will be tough, but I'm ready to face it with honesty as my guide. I always feared that my family would reject me if they knew the truth. But now that they know, I realize that rejection is not the worst thing. The worst is living a life that's not true to yourself. The discomfort of facing my family with everything revealed is immense. But in that discomfort, I see the potential for growth, for healing, and for building a deeper connection based on transparency. I've spent so much time hiding from my family, but now that the truth is out, I can't help but feel both exposed and liberated. It's like the weight of the world has lifted, and I'm finally able to breathe freely. When my family learned everything, it was like the walls I'd built around myself began to crumble. And though the process is painful, I can see the potential for something better in the aftermath, something more honest and real. The first time my family found out, I wanted to run and hide. But now, I'm beginning to understand that it's not about avoiding discomfort. It's about facing it head on and trusting that love will help me through it. I wasn't prepared for the mixed emotions that would follow once my family knew the truth. But in this mix of fear, uncertainty, and hope, I realize that this is where real change begins. It's not easy watching the people you love wrestle with the truth you've kept hidden for so long. But in that moment of raw honesty, I know that we're all learning something important about each other and ourselves. I always wondered how I would feel once my family found out. Now that the truth is out, I realize it's not about feeling shame, but about learning how to navigate this new reality together with love and understanding. The feeling of being fully seen, of having my secrets laid bare, is both terrifying and freeing. But in the end, I know that the love of my family will help me rebuild what was once hidden. When my family found out everything, I expected rejection. What I didn't expect was the overwhelming support they showed, even through their initial shock. It taught me that love doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be real. There's something humbling about seeing your family's reaction to your truths. But in that humbling moment, I also realize that it's through honesty that I can become the person I'm meant to be. Sometimes we think we're protecting those we love by keeping secrets, but in reality, it's only by sharing the truth that we can build deeper connections. Even though it's hard, I'm learning that the truth is always worth it. When the truth comes out, it feels like your world has shifted, but in that shift, I'm realizing that I'm finally embracing who I truly am, free from the weight of my secrets and the fear of judgment. There are moments in life that define us, and then there are moments when we realize we've been defined by the people we love the most. When my family found out, I could feel every emotion in my heart collide, wondering if they'd still see me the same way after everything. It's strange how a single conversation can flip your entire world upside down. Now that my family knows, I'm left standing in a sea of uncertainty, not sure whether their love will hold me or drown me. In the face of judgment, it's easy to feel exposed. But when the ones who know you best discover your deepest secrets, all you can do is hope that the love you've built together is stronger than the shame you're feeling. I thought I had prepared myself for this moment, but nothing truly prepares you for the reality of seeing the ones who raised you react to your truths. It's as if I'm being reborn, only to face the world with new eyes. There's a part of me that regrets how everything unfolded, but another part that feels a strange relief in letting it all out. My family's reaction may have shaken me, but it also taught me something valuable about trust and vulnerability. When you've been hiding parts of yourself for so long, the moment your family discovers everything can feel like the end of a chapter, but maybe it's just the beginning of a new one where truth no longer feels like a burden. There's a quiet kind of panic that arises when your world feels like it's being questioned. My family's reactions were intense, but I can't help but wonder if they see the real me now, truthful, flawed, and free. You always wonder how much your family will love you once they know the full story. It's terrifying, but also comforting to see that love can still endure when faced with the truth, however messy it may be. I've spent so long keeping secrets, I forgot what it felt like to live honestly. Now, watching my family process everything, I feel both exposed and empowered, like I'm stepping into my own light, no matter the shadow it casts. The moment I told my family everything, I thought I was going to lose them. But as I watch them grapple with the truth, I realize that sometimes we have to go through discomfort to grow, both individually and together. There's nothing quite like the feeling of vulnerability when your family discovers your hidden truths. But in that vulnerability, I'm finding strength, hoping that our bond will survive the storm and come out even more unbreakable. It's a strange thing seeing the disappointment in your loved one's eyes, yet feeling no regret, because in the end, I know they'll come to understand that the truth is what makes us whole, no matter how painful it is to confront. You think you're ready for the consequences when your family finds out, but the emotional weight of it all hits you in ways you never expect. Still, in that weight, there's something freeing about being seen for who you truly are. I can't tell if my family's reaction is one of shock or disbelief, but I know one thing for sure. I'm no longer hiding, and even though it feels like the ground beneath me is shaking, I believe this is how growth happens. In that moment when the truth comes out, you realize that family isn't just about support, it's about acceptance. And though the road ahead might be rocky, I have to trust that this new chapter will be one of healing, not division. I've always feared the judgment of my family, but now that they know everything, I'm starting to see that the real fear is not being true to myself. Even if it's uncomfortable, I choose authenticity over silence. My heart races as I wait for my family to process everything they've just learned. It's as though I've opened a door I can never close, but somehow, in this moment of raw honesty, I feel freer than ever. The fear of rejection was consuming me, but once my family found out, I realized that love doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. And now, even through the tension, I'm holding on to the hope that we'll get through this stronger. I never imagined that the day my family would know the truth would feel like this, both terrifying and liberating. But as the dust settles, I'm starting to see that facing the truth is the first step toward building something even more authentic. It's one thing to keep secrets from the world, but another to keep them from those who love you most. Now that everything's out in the open, I can't help but wonder if my family will still see me with the same eyes, or if they'll view me differently. The weight of the truth can be heavy, but the relief of sharing it with those who matter most is worth it. Even if the initial shock is overwhelming, I know that honesty will bring us closer in the end.